I'm Stacey Lindis from Podcast PD, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Happy New Year! I'm so excited that you're here for the first episode of 2021 and part 3 of the Burn-In Teacher Clarity series. Let's get started. Welcome to the Burn-In Teacher Podcast. I'm Amber Harper, and the educators on this podcast are brave enough to share their stories of burnout with the world. On BIT, we get real, we get honest, and we take action. Action against the burnout with stories from burned out teachers, advice from experts, and actionable steps you can take today to beat the burnout and become a happier, more fulfilled human being. Let's get started. Well, hey there, Burn-In teachers. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 94 of the Burn-In Teacher Podcast. This is one part burnout and all other parts action, inspiration, and support for teachers dealing with burnout. I'm your host, Amber Harper, and I empower burned out teachers all over the world to believe that they deserve and can achieve a happier and more fulfilled career and life. And I don't know about you, but I am so excited that 2021 is here. But in true form, you know I'm a real person over here, and I'm going to keep it real. Just because it's a new calendar year does not mean that we are now free of all of the hardships and challenges that we have been faced with in 2020. Now, I'm not trying to poo-poo how exciting it is to start a brand new calendar year. I love breaking open a new calendar as well. I love all the possibilities that come with a new calendar year. But I'm also a realist in the sense that we can easily carry our habits and all of the negative beliefs and all of those things that are continuing to keep us banging against that window as a fly. If you've been listening to the Burn-In Teacher Clarity series, part 1 and 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Listen, just because it's 2021 doesn't mean that it's not going to have its challenges. So that's what this Clarity series is all about. It's all here to help you, no matter what burnout type, no matter what season of life you're in, no matter what your hardship, to help you to see clearer as you move into this year so that this year can maybe end up a little bit better for you because you know what it is that you want. And that's why I created this Clarity series in the first place. When I asked teachers what they wanted, what made them happy, a lot of them were saying, I don't know. I don't even know what I enjoy anymore. I don't even know what makes me happy. I don't even know what I want. I just want to survive. And that's no way to live. And it certainly is no way to start a brand new year. So if you're here, I'm going to assume a few things, but I also want to make sure that I kind of catch you up. And I should say, if you're listening to part 3 here today with me, and you've not listened to part 1 or part 2, I do want you to pause this, come back to it later after you listen to part 1 and 2, or you can dive into the Burn-In Teacher Podcast Facebook community at facebook.com/groups/Burn-In Teacher. And you can actually watch me lead these sessions live. I led these as a 3-part series for Clarity Week, I called it, that led up to the masterclass where I teach create clarity and conduct change. And you can access that masterclass right now for free. Go to burninteacher.com/masterclass. And I am going to fast track you into clarity going into 2021. Now, I'm not done yet. I can't start this episode without letting you know I'm so excited. We have welcomed so many teachers into the Burned-In Teacher Tribe Mastermind for the January 2021 cohort, and I am so excited to let you know that it's still open for enrollment. We're kicking everything off with a kickoff party on January 17th, and there's still plenty of time for you to join. Now, the doors are going to close soon, so I don't want you to wait any longer. But I can't continue this episode without letting you know that you still have the opportunity to do something different in order to see different results. And a mastermind is the perfect place for somebody that wants to do something really different and also surround themselves with other people who want to work towards a definite purpose and really create tremendous momentum going into 2021. So go to burnedinteacher.com/mastermind to learn everything you need to know. And of course, you can email me anytime if you have questions at support@burnedinteacher.com. Happy to answer anything that you have on your mind as you consider joining. We would love to have you. Okay, so let's dive into part 3. It's pretty simple today, but it's also pretty deep. Okay, so I'm going to lead this with, who do you want to be? What do you want? Let's pretend that it's December 2021 and you are getting ready to celebrate another new year. What have you achieved? What have you accomplished? Where have you gone? How have you felt? How have you grown? This is a really important question. It's an easy one, right, to ask. But it's something I want you to think about. Who do you want to be? Because of all of the different statements and questions and things that I hear teachers say, and I heard myself say them, and still sometimes I go to that place, it's easy to get lost in the survival mode and to think, man, when I have more time, someday, during Christmas break next year, or during spring break, or during summer, on the weekend, I'll do this. When I have more time, when I have more freedom, when I lose this weight, when I get this next job, when all of these statements that put off taking action and being who you need to be now in order to do the things that you need to do to have what you want, right? And I did an episode on this called Be, Do, Have. I'll reference it in the show notes. But the be, do, have mentality kind of flips, I want to have this. I want to have more time. I want to have more freedom. I want to have more autonomy. I want to have better relationships. All of these things that we say that we want to have, we act as if they're in the future somewhere down the road. When in reality, if we want to have those things, we have to be the person that would do the things to have those things right now. And I know that, again, this is probably something that if you didn't know already, I'm a coach. I'm coaching you. I'm not judging you. All right. And I'm going to tell you some gut check things. I'm going to ask you some gut check questions. In order for me to help you to change your reality, I have to get you to think about what you're thinking. That good old metacognition that we teach kids, or at least I taught kids whenever I taught Reader's Workshop. I love talking about metacognition, thinking about your thinking, because that's everything, my friend. No matter where you are in your life, no matter what season you're in, no matter what season of burnout you're in, no matter where you're teaching, no matter for how long, you have to be able to think about your thinking. And that's where clarity comes in. And that's why if we're going to help you to grow through your burnout, we have to be able to think about, who do you need to be today so that you can start doing the things that that person would do in order to have what you want, okay? So now I'm going to kind of back up. Over the last couple of episodes, I have assumed that you have identified your burnout type and your stage. Okay. So if you've not done that, go to burnedinteacher.com/burnout quiz. It's 6 questions, super simple. You'll get your burnout type, either burned and over it, burned and bored, or burned and unbalanced, or maybe not quite burned out, but something is off. And then you'll get my stages ebook that will help you to identify just how burned out you are. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, this girl is full of it, you're probably at a stage 0 or 1. Because you are so cynical, so negative, so apathetic, you don't think there's anything out there that can help you. And I'm here to tell you, you're wrong. There is something out there to help you, okay? And this is the beginning of it, right? We've learned the difference in part 1 of the Clarity series. We learned the difference between a coach and a therapist, okay? A coach is someone who helps you focus on your future, and a therapist is somebody who helps you to heal from your past. And I also helped you to understand what it meant to be coachable and what the roles of a coach, myself, are, and what a role of a coachee is. And that's you. Okay. And if you're coachable, if you're in fact ready to do the hard work that it takes to see different results. All right. We've identified the beliefs about overwhelm and time that are keeping us banging against that perpetual window like a fly trying to get out, thinking there's no other way than to just try to be a hammer. And we're going to talk about this in a second, and try to just break that window. When if it just took a second to back up, it would see that there's a door wide open just a few feet away. All right. We've also, last episode, we talked about the burnout talk, that negative, nasty self-talk that's keeping us in that perpetual state of burnout, and that blurriness where we're not even able to think clearly about what we're saying to ourselves and whether or not it's the truth or it's a lie, because a lot of times they're lies. those negative things that we say to ourselves. Gosh, you're so stupid. Oh, you're just a teacher. You could never be anything else, right? We talked about naming that. That's my anxiety. That's my burnout talking. Okay. And that's a lie because, and we came up with rebuttals. That's a lie because I am capable of a lot of amazing things. I'm smart because, or if you would tell yourself, nobody even cares. All right. That's a lie, right? I could tell myself, nobody's listening to this podcast episode, right? Who cares what Amber Harper has to say? But I know that's a lie because you're listening today. I know that's a lie because I get DMs and emails from you telling me how much these episodes speak to you because I was there. I still go there sometimes, but I now have the clarity to see that when I go there, that it's just visiting. I'm not going to park there like a lot of people choose to park, right? And we came up with rebuttals. That's what those were. Those rebuttals that say that's a lie because. All right. Now, I also let you know too, if you didn't already, now if you take the teacher burnout quiz, you should get the Agents of Change a couple days later. These are posters where we have some of that negative, nasty self-talk, and then of course the rebuttals for those. So that's just to get you started. Those are certainly not the only ones, and you can be creative and come up with your own. Susie from the Burn In Teacher Tribe, she actually said that she wants to create one that's about resentment. All right. So I think that's really important that you empower yourself to think that about what you could name your burnout talk and what your rebuttals are going to be for them. Okay. Now, all of this is leading into what I want to make sure you're very, very clear about. No pun intended, actually much pun intended, is that there are two things that I have for you to fast track your growth through your burnout. Number one, if you're finding these clarity series super helpful, then I want you to sign up for my free Burned In Teacher Clarity Masterclass. I call it Create Clarity, Conduct Change, because if you are not able to be clear on what you want out of life, you cannot create the changes that you need to make in your life. And you are, in fact, responsible for all of the choices and the changes that you bring into your life. Okay? So today, as I've already alluded to, all right, that fly banging up against the window, it's a fly, right? But it's saying things to itself like, stop being so weak, just fly harder. There's no other way. When he's saying things to himself like that, he is being weak. When he's saying, stop being weak, he's being weak, right? If he is telling himself, fly harder, try harder, keep going, there's no other way, he is working harder and he's getting no results and he's exhausting himself. He believes that there are no other options. Now, a fly doesn't have the brain capacity to realize that he's trying to be a hammer when in fact he's a fly. What we have as humans is the ability to stop and to think, why am I doing this? Why do I continue to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect different results? Why am I doing this? And this is where you make true changes in your life. This is where you can make the choice to do something different. This is where you get to choose to be the person that you want to be, to have the things that you want to have by doing what somebody who has those things already does. So this is where you have to make some choices because, I hear the statement also, so many things get added to our plates and nothing is taken away. Okay, well, who's not taking anything away, right? And I'm not making any judgments here. I don't know what you're dealing with on a daily basis, but what I do know is when I was super overwhelmed and crying every night because I was working until 11 o'clock, I was telling myself stories about what had to continue to happen in order for me to get everything done. And I was telling myself lies. I was the one that wasn't taking anything off of my plate. And I just want to challenge you and encourage you and empower you to think about what you can take away in order for you to be the person and do the things that you need to do in order to have what you want. You want more time? You're the only one who can make it. Now, in all honesty, we can't make more time, but we can choose minute by minute, hour by hour, how we spend it. It's funny because money and time are our most precious resources, right? One is renewable, one is not. We can always make more money, but we can't make more time. Yet we spend time like we can make more of it, and we can't. So I want you to think about, as I leave you today for the last part of this 3-part series, I want you to write down, draw who you feel you are now and draw the things that you do and the things that you say. What does the person that you are today think, say, and do? And then I want you to draw on another piece of paper in another section who you want to be and what that person thinks and says and does on a daily basis with true intention every day, even if they don't want to do it, but because they know it's good for them. Okay, I told the story of how when I was super exhausted, when I had Avery, our second daughter, I was tired and I decided, you know what, I am going to be in the best shape that I can within reason, which means I need to work out every day, which means I have to get up early and do it because my afternoons are very filled. They're full. So there's no other time to do it than in the morning. Well, when Avery started preschool, we had to drive 25 minutes back out and back, totally opposite direction of our school. And so I had to get up at 4:15 every morning for 3 years because I wanted to be that person who had energy and who felt good. I took gallons of water with me to school so that I wouldn't have the excuse of, well, I have to go to the water fountain and I don't have time. I'm going to take this water with me. I have no other choice. This is what somebody who is fit and healthy does. And I still do it to this day. Right next to me is a gallon of water. I've done it for years. I can't wish to be fit and to be healthy. Okay, and it's not about being skinny. It's about feeling good. We can't wish for these things to happen and expect that magic pill to just make it happen. We have to be and do in order to have. And that's what I want to leave you with today. And there's no better time than now to do more than just set a goal and set a resolution for the new year. It's time to be the person you want to be and do the things that you need to do in order to have what you want. And if you need a supportive community to help you through that and to be able to speak that same burned in language as you do, okay, because I know, I've heard tribers say this, that when they share a win with other people that they work with, that other people just roll their eyes because they are convinced that it would never work for them. And that can be defeating. That can be disempowering. So I want to invite you to the Burned In Teacher Tribe Mastermind. It's still open. You can still join. If you've listened to this episode when it releases or maybe a week or two later, we'll see. It starts January 17th is the January 2021 cohort. So I want to send out that invitation. All right, we're here for you. We're ready to welcome you in right now, burnedinteacher.com/mastermind. So if you go there, you're going to learn everything you need to know about the details of what it means to be a Burned In Teacher Tribe Mastermind member and all of the goodness that's to come your way as you be the person that you want to be and do the things that you need to do in order to have what you want to have. Now, my friends, take a deep breath because you just took another step to becoming a Burned In Teacher. I'll see you next week. And again, Happy New Year. Burn on.
If you enjoyed today's podcast episode, you can head over to burnedinteacher.com where you can access the entire vault of Burned In Teacher podcast episodes and more information about ways I want to help you go from burned out teacher to burned in human. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would be so grateful if you would head over to iTunes and leave a review and a rating about the Burned In Teacher podcast. Until next time, take a deep breath because you just took another step to becoming a burned in teacher. Burn on.